I'd like to start by saying I'm really tired of making these videos. Not because of the video itself, but um, every video is the same. I'm always talking about some loser that I had, never really much of a gainer. But um, I will explain how this trade went. So yesterday, the 19th of January, um, I spoke to you guys about how I made. Um, but let me go back. Uh, Sorry, I'm gonna go forward actually. But I spoke to you guys or myself. I spoke to myself or made this video for myself, talking about how I this stock met every criteria that I needed. First green day, um, um, biggest percent gainer with a catalyst, no overhead resistance, um, uh, and it had volume and it was closing at its highs as well. But I ABC this and I longed it. I was up like I think I don't know how much. And then I traded it somehow. I think I was down. I don't remember how I traded it, but I know I made a decent amount. I can't remember. I would have to watch the video. And then while I was at work, I was trying to ABC this again, and but I was at work and I didn't touch it, but it did exactly as I predicted. But it didn't hit um the high day. I just ABC'd it. Let me make sure I double check to see if I made a video about it. I hope I did. I really hope I did. I would hate it if I didn't. Sorry, I love the Joker. I really do. Joker is just, I feel him inside of me. Okay, so I did do a video about it. Um, and then yeah, I made $744. Wanted to ABCD it again, but I was at work, and of course I'm not gonna trade on my phone, etc. Da da da. So going back into this trade, uh, the statistics is 26 mil with 42, 43 flow, 26 million flow, 43 outstanding. Um, Going into today, I did not realize that they did an offering 16 hours prior to it. I don't know why it still says 16 hours, but did not realize they did an offering um, from from when I was watching the stock um this morning or trading it. But this is how. Let me get into the trade, but this is how it went down. So pre-market, it was red. It was red. I started watching it around here. It was at 18. It was like 10 cents red in the red zone, um, from red to green, and it was in the red. So I shorted, I think, 100 or 200 shares right here, and I'm like, I worry that there's not going to be any more shares available to short. Um, um, and I just didn't want to have to be in that position. So I shorted, started popping up. To be honest, before I even tell you how I traded it, I shouldn't have been shorting. I knew not to short pre-market or trade pre-market, but I don't know how pre-market operates like that. Like I know pre-market, but I don't know how like it trade. I don't watch pre-market too much. I watch it like the first 30 minutes, but at 8 o'clock I'm entering a trade. I don't know how pre-market trades around 8 o'clock. I know how it trades around 9:15. And even if it's 9:15, I'm not touching it until I see my opportunity. But because it was red to green, I was supposed to just follow the rules. I mean, there was really no wrong here. Like I was supposed to follow the rules. Okay, I'm 10 cents away from my risk. If it hits my risk, I'm out. But it hit my risk, I didn't get out. It blew past my risk. I was down 200, 300, $400, and that's when I finally just covered because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm confused, but I'm not because I know what's going on. It's pre-market. Stocks can move way faster, way higher pre-market. But my stubborn ass refused to cut losses quickly. And like you see in my other videos, like I've seen in my other videos, um, it's the same pattern over again. I failed to break one rule, then all the other rules follow. So um, I I I was upset with myself. Like I shouldn't have traded pre-market. I should have caught losses quickly. Thankfully, I didn't do any other mistakes. I didn't add to it to this loser, and I didn't add to it, and I did not um, do. I wrote a few rules down. Give me a second. So I didn't cut losses quickly. That's one thing I did. I traded pre-market. That's another mistake that I made. There was no singles to be made. Um, I was shorting the first green day. Um, I didn't size beyond my risk. I didn't add shares to a loser. Thankfully, I did that. I was thinking about adding shares to this loser, but thankfully I didn't. I didn't chase this stock, and I didn't increase my risk. But I failed to cut losses quickly, and I traded pre-market. And those are the rules that I need to really follow by. There's of course there's more rules, but these are just the ones that apply to me right now, or I feel like are closest to me. Um, uh, so I finally just was like, yo, this shit might push up who knows how far. It could go to 30. So I covered. I mean, yeah, I covered and it came crashing down. Um this is a 5 minute. I covered right here. I think right here. And yeah. And then I was like, okay, I want to make back my money. It was kind of like revenge trading. I need to add that to my rules. Um, do not revenge trade, and that's what I was doing. I was kind of like revenge trading, but it wasn't no revenge. It was just like, okay, if it was more of like I had a feeling this stock can spike some more, um, and it wasn't. It really didn't feel like it was revenge, but I guess you can call it revenge. But I'm like, okay, this stock is not gonna spike some. It's gonna spike some more. I should have longed it, and I tried getting in here. I chased it a little bit here, 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 and then when it started fading, I'm like, okay, I'm losing money. So I added shares here, added shares here. Next thing you know, I'm in 1,000 shares. I'm looking at my broker to see like my overall account, how much money I have in my entire account, how much money I'm using. My liquid cash, my my available cash left that I have left over. And as I'm looking, I'm like, yo, I didn't even realize it. I used some of my buying power, and I bought 1,000 shares. I didn't even do the math. In my head, the math wasn't even coming. I wasn't even calculating the numbers that the amount of money I was using in my account. I just went beyond my risk, because I felt like it was just gonna keep going, and that's the wrong way to trade. But I was so deep already. I was already so deep in. I was like, fuck it. If I'm so deep in, I might as well bet the whole house, you know. But that's the wrong mindset. Um, so my account said negative 3,000. I was like, what? And basically, what it meant was, yo, you borrowed, you just liquid, what is it called when you? I just use margin. I kind of like use the broker's money to make this trade. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Um, so I made multiple mistakes here. It wasn't just cutting losses. It wasn't just failing to cut losses quickly and trading pre-market and revenge trading. It was then I started, and then that's something I never do. Borrow money from the broker, use the broker's money. I forgot the word for it, but it's, you. I don't do that. That's just not what I do. I never done that before. It was an accident. Honestly, it was an accident. But there go four mistakes right there. And then it started crashing, and I'm like, I was just about to add shares here. Then that's when I looked into my account. I realized I was borrowing the broker's money to do it, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not gonna stay. I'm gonna stay away. My average was one. It was 2120 at this point with 1,000 shares. The stock, I don't know what happened. It crashed here, and then within like a minute, it just pushed up, and I had an order sitting. No, I was gonna enter my order like when I was at 120. When I was at 2120, I was like telling myself, okay, it was crashing right here. I'm like, if this happens to bounce, have your order sitting at 2150 just for the hell of it. And I was like, nah, that's not the way to trade. And I don't even think it's going to hit that much, but fuck it. You should do it anyway. And I was going to put one to just sit here. And it actually did bounce to where where I wanted to enter my order. It actually went past it. But I didn't do it. It's like, it was as if the stock was giving me chances to get out. And the whole time I'm stressing, all right here through this time frame. I'm stressing, I'm stressing, I'm stressing, I'm stressing. The lowest point of pre-market or for in this range was 1950. I was down like $1.50, and I'm stressing, I'm stressing. I'm like, man, I give up. At that point, I was like, man, I give up. I don't want to trade no more. I want nothing to do with the stock market. I'm just going through the whole 9 yards of negativity, and I had to re-catch myself. And I'm like, okay, where did I go wrong? I broke a few rules that I know I shouldn't be breaking. Number one rule was cut losses quickly. Is cut losses quickly. But something that I never do is trade pre-market. I never trade pre-market. I just know from when I first had my account of like 3,400, trading pre-market was just not something that I did well at. So I just took it out of my fucking arsenal. I just said, hey, I'm not doing this no more. Um, and then to use the broker's money to help me trade. That's another one I never do. So that's not even an issue that I have a hard time dealing with because I never do it. I don't do it. So I'm like, okay, you made two mistakes that you just never make. Okay, the other mistake, cutting losses quickly, you're still improving on that. And then not only that, you bought shares a bit too high. And if you weren't in pre-market and this was like actual trading, like here, you you should have just cut your losses. But those are I was just trying to convince myself and help myself understand that um there's even though I'm so depressed and so down on myself, this can be greatly improved. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait till market open, and trust me, at this point right now, my mind is just gone. I'm almost down to 2K at this point. Market open, 1500, 2K. I was down about 2K. Let's do the math real quick. So it hit a low of, we'll call it 1950. I was in at 2120. So that's what? 21.20. Shit. 21.20 minus 1950. That's $1.70 times 1,000 shares. I was down $1,700 right here and right here at the lowest point of these candlesticks. I was just frozen. I was just completely in the wrong mindset. But market open, I'm just waiting, and I didn't realize when I think somewhere around here before market open or while market open, I went back and took a look. Um, into this trade. When it loads, I'll show you. But there was a fucking offering. I don't know if I already said this in this video, but there was a fucking offering, and now I'm searching through the offering, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck happened. But I was like, shit, how did I not know about this offering? And and I'm like, man, they're diluting all these shares. The reason why it's going down like this and like this is because they're diluting it. And when pre-market opened, I didn't even look at this part right here. Now I'm just looking at it now. But they were diluting this shit this whole fucking time. You feel me? Here we go. They're diluting the shares. You know. But see here it says $17 per share. They're fucking lying. When you go into the OTCmarket.com and you look at the disclosure, it says $5 per share, not 17. But then I'm watching it. I'm like, man, this could get me back to break even. So it broke this high. Then it broke the pre-market this spike right here, and it started pushing up, and it broke pre-market high. So I'm like in the green now. Then somewhere right here, I'm up $1,000, and I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I was like, okay, it looks like it's gonna keep spiking some more. Let me give it some more time. Um, at this point, I was willing to take break even or just a couple $100, but I'm like, okay, so it gave me $1,000 and gains. I'll take that, or wait a little bit, and then it pulled back, and I saw my $1,000 gain go from $1,000 to negative 400 or something like that. And I was like, fuck no, I'm not taking that. So I'm like, let me just enter an order real quick. Hopefully it bounces and I will get at least break even. So when I hit my order, it got executed. I was up $400, and then it pushed straight back up. Believe it or not, I don't ever go with that big size, but to be honest, I wanted that much size because I wanted a big gain, and that's the wrong mindset too. But I was already there with 1,000 shares, and it is what it is. I got really lucky here, and I learned a lot of bad lessons, but I got saved. gave me a chance to reconsider my fucking life and everything I've been doing for the past 6 years. And it started pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. And then somewhere around here, I'm like looking at it like, damn, maybe I should long it. But I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up, bitch. What are you thinking trying to fucking long it? Oh, let me just throw in 100 shares and see if I actually get it. No, I said fuck no. And it started fading, fading, fading. And all on and in all honesty, I didn't expect it to just fade like this. But there is an offering, so they're just dumping every step of the way. But I was up 400, and I was trying to see if it was gonna bounce. So when 10:30 hit, I went in for a bounce. It didn't happen. 11 hit. I went in for another bounce. It didn't happen. And then I think somewhere around here, or 10:30, 11:30, I went for to try to hit for a bounce. It didn't happen, so I gave back $100. So from 410, I gave back 100, and because I was only entering 100 shares this time instead of 1,000. I said, "Fuck it, I don't want to trade like this no more. I don't even want to trade it anymore." And and I gave back $100. So instead of $401, I'm up $298. So that's like $103 I gave back. But every time I stuck to my risk when it was looking like it wasn't going to push up. I already got my order ready and I hit uh, the exit. I sold and I cut my shares every time it hit my risk, and that was a little bit of improvement in my practice of cutting losses quickly. But overall, this was a horrible trade. This was one of those trades like a black swan trade, but instead of it being short and I'm getting short squeeze, it's a long run where the stock has an offering, and I'm the idiot that actually long thinking it was gonna go up more. But overall, I took a mean L. This could have ended my career. Um, I already like in pre-market watching me being down $1,500. I'm having flashes in my head of 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm that that guy that's like, oh, I tried being a day trader and I got burnt bad, and I'm sad and miserable, and I'm walking in the streets being an average person, and just telling the world how I never succeeded, like a bum. And that flash came in my head and it just hurt me. But I quickly caught myself, and I had to understand that, yo, I made simple mistakes and I got burnt bad, and I got lucky, and I can't let this happen no more because I'm noticing that my losses are increasing. My losses are increasing. It went from a couple $100 to now $900 to now $1,000 and now 1,200. It went to fit 1,200. Now it's 1,500. Now it's 1,700. Um, so I have to stop this. So one thing I've ended up doing was I had funds in my account that I had borrowed from family members to sit in my account so I can be over the PDT rule, and I've been using their money to trade when I shouldn't be. But of course, before I let their funds diminish, mine would diminish first, and I would just give them their money back. So instead of just letting that money just sit in my account and allowing me to be able to use it, I just took the funds that I have by my siblings, and I bought Nike shares with it. And I wrote it down. I'm like, here's your average. I invested this money for you. If it when it grows, or when I get my account over to PD, or when I get my account where I need it to be, I'll give you your money back plus some and maybe even more. Plus the investment plus more just for letting me borrow it. Um, but that's a way for me to secure their funds and my funds. And now I only have 15,500 to use for myself of my own money. I started with six. I went down like 3,000, and now I'm back up. You know, 2,500. So I'm only down 500 from when I started trading. But this is gonna secure myself from fucking up my account or anybody else's account, or fucking up my money and or anybody else's money. But I decided, you know what, I'm sticking to my risk. I'm trading 100 shares, not really 100 shares, but typically 100 shares um, with a $30 risk. I'm not adding to. I'm not doing more than what I'm supposed to. So when I was trying to play the bounce, I only did 100 shares, and then when I got to the point where it was at like around here or here, it was at like $20.09, and my risk was $20 at the $20 range. So I bought 300 shares um, with a risk of 9 cents times 300 shares, and 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 I was like, okay, if it bounces, I will profit, but if it doesn't, I'm cutting at 20. And it hit 20, it hit 20, 19.99, past the 20, and I got out. So that's how I'm playing it. I'm not risking myself anymore.